Good morning, good morning. Welcome to another
Morning.
Saturday morning live show here on the Daddykirbs farm. It is always a pleasure for me to do this and to hang out with you guys on Saturday mornings. So, the way that we like to start this is oh, and welcome back, Kate.
Thank you. Thank you very
It's
much.
been a few weeks since you've been here,
Yes, it has.
and isn't your phone ringing?
Must be. Sorry.
I think your phone in your purse is ringing. Uh, we'll let Kate answer her phone.
Well, Kate just turned it off.
All right, so uh, Kate is looking very festive in her Santa outfit,
It's called staying warm, people.
staying warm. Yeah, so it's a little colder than I expected this morning. I really thought it was going to be warmer out here, but you know, it's the way it goes. Yesterday was very warm, very
Yeah,
nice.
it was.
Of course, I wasn't outside at 8 o'clock in the morning yesterday.
There you go. I was. And
Yeah,
it was chilly, but it wasn't as cool as it is now.
yeah. I think it's like 45 degrees out here right now, which,
It was 51 at my house when I left to come over here.
oh, was it? Okay. All right. So, first thing we like to do on Saturday mornings is to remind ourselves and remind the community that we are valuable, we are important. Each one of us has a story that is individual and unique, and we are better for it. So, here on the Daddy Kirk farm, I believe that everyone has a story, and every story counts. So the pledge is we sit up straight, put our hand on our chest, and we say, "My story counts because I count."
My story counts because I count.
You do count, Kate.
Thanks, so do you, Blake.
Thank you. It is truly valuable in my life to keep reminding myself of that. I know it's silly. I know it's silly, but there's just something in me my whole life that has been. I think your audio is on there. There's something in me that has always told me that I'm not good enough and I'm not valuable and everyone else is more important. And that's just not true. I have to remind myself that that's not true. And no matter how big we are in our circles of influence, whether that's, we're creators or anything else, everyone has a story and every story counts. So,
That's right.
all right. So, I do want to say that in our stories, in our collective stories that makes us a community, sometimes there's painful stories, and my heart breaks. It's been breaking for a couple weeks now because of our friend Zach over at an American homestead lost his wife Jamie, and
To a hard battle with
a
cancer.
very tough battle, and we're all heartbroken, and we would love an American homestead to know that we love you and we care for you, and we're very sorry for your loss. And I know that We Tree Bonsai has a link that she's putting up there, meal train that has to do with in support of an American homestead in his time of loss. So, um, yeah. All right. So this morning, um, I didn't have a whole lot to talk about, but I wanted to talk about gardening because yesterday I went out into the garden and had a great time. I didn't get everything done that I hoped to, but let me give a little shot of the pumpkins in the background there. I didn't get everything done that I hoped to, but it was fun being out there, and I got some cleaning done. Looks almost like I have a halo right now with my my gleaming.
Well, we know that you're great, but we also know you're not an angel.
Not that great, not that great. Um, yeah. So the gardening topic is just me wanting to share my thoughts, my experience yesterday, and then also to get some of your thoughts. But before we do that, we have some thank yous that we like to do every week as well. And the first thank you is to my moderators, to Kate and the rest of the
Hi,
team,
guys.
We Tree Bonsai, and I'm not sure who all is
Robert
here.
and Dolly and Happy and
Right, okay, good.
Ronald and
A nice crew of people this morning. Everyone with the blue name and the blue wrench, those are moderators, and they're here to keep the show family friendly and just moving along nicely. So you guys do a lot of great work. I appreciate that. And here's an announcement to the moderators. Apparently there's going to be a moderating training session that everyone needs to participate in because there are important updates. So please get in contact with Kate and she will give you the details on that and let you know what you need to do. So thank you, Kate, for taking care of that. And thank you to the moderator team for being as awesome as you are. Another big thank you is to my patrons, and patrons are people who share financially just their gift of giving to help keep uh, the Daddykirbs Farm story going, and that the financial support that I get through Patreon and PayPal, and sometimes even in checks in the mail. I don't ask for any of it. This is just people who want to give because they believe in what we're doing, and I appreciate it very much. That helps me keep the equipment and the internet and all these things that I need to keep the show going. So thank you very much for that. Also to our sponsors, I have to use the air quotes because they're not technically really sponsors, but they are companies that we have relationship with. And right now, a few to mention are Greenstock Garden. They have a beautifully designed stackable container garden system, and there is a link usually in the chat to that you can go and look at their products, and if you like what you see, you can purchase that using my link and my coupon code and save a few dollars. Also to Kai T, who has been so gracious to provide all the sample teas that we've been giving away over the last few months. I don't know how long, but I talked to him the other day, and the reason that we didn't get a shipment last month was because they were so busy as a family preparing for that big homesteading conference festival thing they do in Waco, which I really wanted to go to but couldn't make it. They had over 17,000 people on their farm for that weekend, so they were pretty busy. He is planning on sending another shipment, so we're going to get a little more tea to give away. So look forward to that coming soon. And also a new relationship that we are forming, and we're going to be giving stuff away in 2020, is from Pruitt's Tree Resin. And these are just really cool natural salves and oil ointments that I use daily as a natural deodorant. I love it because I don't really like commercial deodorants, and this does a really nice job at keeping me smelling like a forest. And it's actually really nice for cuts and burns and wounds, and we've used it on the animals and on ourselves. It's really nice. So that's coming soon. In 2020, we're going to be giving those away. Not every week, but probably once a month, we're going to be giving a little package of those away. So look forward to that.
Farmer Brad.
We have lots of community members that have things to offer as well. And Farmer Brad is one. He's got some cool things. You can go check his stuff out as well. There's just a lot of nice things. I would love for you guys to support the community. That reminds me, in our community, we have a lot of creators. So if you are a creator, if you have a YouTube channel and you would like to just state in the chat that I am a creator, that lets people know that they can go look at your stuff and follow you if they like. So a big thank you then, that reminds me, to subscribers and family members. Not always the same: subscribers, people who follow along, and family members who like to be a part of the community and share a lot more. So a little bit of an apology. I was sharing with Kate this morning that I know that I'm not as active as I could be in the family group, and I know that probably contributes to the family group being a little slower than some other communities, but I actually talked with Farmer Mima on the phone yesterday, and she was checking on me to make sure that I was okay because she hadn't heard from me in a little while. Let me change my angle here a little bit and see if that gets rid of the sun.
That's a little better.
There we go. I'll just lean in so the sun's behind my head. So she was just checking to make sure I was okay because I just hadn't posted as much on YouTube and on Facebook and different places. And I just let her know that sometimes, because of family situation, I have to, I give myself permission to just not. And that's important because the order of importance for me is, of course, family over before the content and things like that. So I really appreciate the fact that you guys do understand that, and you're very gracious to accept when I come back and when I do participate, and continue encouraging me in that way. So you guys are amazing. You're a wonderful community, and I'd love to see I do love seeing the family members connect, and it's fun watching you guys. All right, I'm a little bit cold.
Are you?
Yeah.
You want to see something amazing?
What's amazing?
Feel my hand.
Wow, you have very warm hands.
I'm very warm.
Whew. She
I'm
has very warm
prepared.
hands. Yeah. I thought I was prepared. I have a long sleeve shirt, a sweatshirt, a jacket.
Farmer Mima says hello.
Oh, hey. I was just talking about you, Farmer Mima. Was she here all along? Or did she miss that?
I don't know. She didn't say. She just says hello, friend.
Hello, friend.
I don't say that. I say hello, walls.
Hello, Walls.
Hello, hello.
Oh, man, that tea is good this morning, and it's nice. Put on some gloves and your hood.
Doug is here.
The hood is just not very attractive, you know?
Hey, it's warm. Right now, warm is more important than attractive.
Yeah, I guess we can deal with that.
Besides, we've seen you in all your glory. We know
Yeah.
we know what you look like.
Yep. Oh, my glory. Yeah. Yes, Doug and Stacy are here. It's so, it's really fun as a creator on YouTube. The community of creators in this niche is just, they're pretty cool people. And I like that we can overlap and support each other. So thank you very much to all of you who are here. All of you, but if you are a creator, you understand a little bit of the challenges of keeping up with some of that. So the fact that we can support each other in that is pretty cool. So thank you for being here.
Deborah Toffelmeyer says you're still cute even in the hood.
Aw. Thanks, Deborah. Ah, right.
Salon Girl says she loves this community.
It is a very, very nice community of people.
Quilted Gardner says, welcome to the Daddykirbs
Daddykirbs
hood.
That's right. I'm in my hood, like for real. This is, yeah. All right. So, yeah, did we talk about all the things? Yeah, we didn't talk about gardening yet because that's the subject that I want to talk about as a sort of a main topic. And yesterday I did mention that I got out into the garden, and it was a wreck, like a train wreck. It was horrible. There were tomato cages that had fallen over. Hey, look at that, Mr. Happy, starting with a squirrel, getting things rolling. Thank you, Mr. Happy. Appreciate that. You know what I should do every time you throw? I mean, every time you throw, I should get a squirrel. What? Every time you guys give a squirrel, I should throw a bag, and left hand over the left shoulder. That's a $5 squirrel. Let's see if I can make this a $5 throw.
Salon Girl says her daffodils are coming up in North Texas already.
Wow, daffodils coming up.
And I've already got dandelions all over my yard.
Wow. So
I started picking them to make something out of them.
nice. Texas thinks it's spring already.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess what happens if you, I guess it's going to take a $20, I'm just kidding, to get it on the board. That was horrible. Woo!
You're talking about, is it better to buy bees in a package or in a nuke?
A nuke. I would say that package bees are, in my opinion, based on my experience and my limited amount of academic knowledge. You guys know how that is. Um,
Squirrel.
hey, squirrel, just for being you. Here you go. Another. Oh, man, I got to shift my hips there. Um, so, uh, package bees, in my opinion, are probably the least favorable way to buy bees, to get bees. Trapping your own bees, I think, would be the most favorable. Buying nukes is a pretty good way as well. Of course, that depends on the quality of the nuke and the queens that are accessible. I do believe that local queens, meaning, catching swarms, is probably the best way to get started.
Unless you do it like I did.
What's that?
You find a local beekeeper that has more bees than it has room for,
There
and
you go.
you adopt a hive, have them come over and stay at your house.
Yes, that's a good way too, because then it's a little less responsibility on you too.
A lot less responsibility as well. Oops.
Oh my
squirrel.
goodness, Sean with a $10 super sticker. Okay, let me see. Let's see. No, this way. I think I got to shift this way. Ah, man. I gotta get better. I gotta get better at that. I'm only throwing them all. I even shifted my hips that time. All right, so gardening. Let's talk a little bit about that. I keep teasing you guys with the gardening subject. So yeah, the Daddykirbs garden last year produced a lot of tomatoes, but it's because I planted a lot of tomatoes in a very fertile garden. But it wasn't easy for me to keep up with, just because it's been a little bit of a challenging year. And those of you who follow along know that we have some challenges in our family. Scoot over and get the sunlight. And so the garden didn't produce as well as it could have, because I didn't keep up with it, and then it got to be a wreck. So yesterday I went out there and I cut all the tomato plants out. I got all the cages out of the garden. I still have to clean those up. They're laying outside the garden on the ground full of tomato vines. I need to take care of that. But and then pulled a bunch of weeds. And one of the interesting things that I found was that I had 4 basil plants still alive.
Cool.
And 4 or 5 pepper plants still alive and producing some peppers. So here's a few of the peppers that came off of I had a few smaller ones too. I think these are hot peppers. I'm not 100% sure. I'll find out when I cook them later today. So this is my small harvest from yesterday, and there were flowers on the plants. So they are potentially producing more peppers this year if we don't get any cold snaps. Even Kate was saying that she has a tomato plant.
I planted 10 tomato plants last spring, and 4 tomato plants made it through the summer, and I did not get a single tomato off of any of them. And then I moved all of I grow my stuff in pots now. It's just, and on my green stalk. But I was moving the tomato plants around so that I could get them where I could protect them from the cold. And I discovered that 3 of the 4 remaining tomato plants have small tomatoes and flowers.
Yeah, it's weird how they. Now this year, like every year in Texas, it was hot, and the tomato plants just shut off.
Yep.
And a lot of them, probably half of mine died during the
More than half of mine died.
July and August.
Yeah.
Yeah, in a pot,
6 of the 10.
6 out of the 10 died.
And they get watered twice a day during the summer.
That's a lot. It takes a lot of water to keep them alive through July and August. And yeah, so I don't have shade cloth on mine. No.
Mine are under a big tree, so they get plenty of shade.
Let's see. Great. Happy might be getting into some bees with a friend. That's nice. If I read that right quickly. Yeah, a couple hives. There you go. Yeah, coming this spring. Good morning, Alyssa. Yeah, so what I did yesterday with the trying to block the sun. Yesterday I took those 4 basil plants. There were I think there were there were 3 Thai basil and 1 sweet basil. So I pruned them way back and got a shovel under them, dug them up, and I transplanted them into my green stock. And if you saw the cover photo, the thumbnail for this video, and that was showing those plants along with the pepper plants in the green stock. So I have, I think, 4 or 5 pepper plants and 4 basil plants transplanted into the green stock. And so I have the option to either carry those in if it gets cold, or to cover them, because I have Greenstock offers um,
Cover.
a cover, like a blanket, and so I have one of those. I'll be putting that over if it gets cold this year. It will eventually get cold. Like,
Yeah, February, about the middle of February, we should have our 2 days of winter.
yeah, we'll have, well, to me this feels like winter, but yeah, it will actually get freezing temperatures. We've touched it already this
You
year.
always get one around the middle of November, and
Yeah.
then the real hard stuff comes in February.
Yeah,
for
February's gonna be tough.
2 to 3 days.
Mm.
By the way, speaking of basil,
Yeah,
I went and harvested all my basil out of my green stock,
yeah.
and I was stripping the leaves off so that I could dehydrate them.
Mhm.
And I ended up with 15 little stalks this long with leaves at the top, and they have all rooted in water in my kitchen.
Oh wow, cool.
So I'm going to put them in soil and raise basil in my kitchen.
That's great. That's fantastic. That's
Yeah.
a fun experiment. I haven't yet done that with basil, but I've done it with other
Basil
things.
is very easy to do that with.
I should have kept
And
all
tomatoes
the
are
prune-
too.
Yeah, tomatoes. I've done it with tomatoes. I actually thought yesterday, because I had 4 or 5 tomato plants still alive, I thought about rooting them
Hmm.
and saving them, but I thought, man, that's just. I know what's going to happen is I'm going to get all these little pots of tomatoes everywhere, and then
You won't get around to getting them out.
I'm going to neglect them, and then I'll have dead tomatoes, and Mama Curb's getting upset at because I'm not managing things correctly.
I also have 6 pineapple tops that are all rooted
Yeah.
and in water and ready to go in the ground, and I've got 2 in soil as well.
Wow. Nice.
I'm gonna have a pineapple farm.
Yeah, that would be cool. I don't. Do pineapples grow here in Texas well?
Well, the one that's 2 years old, it's grown beautifully. It's in a 5-gallon pot.
Nice. All right. Let's see.
Happy has a green stalk that he's had in the box for 2 years. He's going to try and get it started this coming
Yes,
spring.
Happy, get that thing out. Get it planted. You do have to put some nice loose soil in there. I like there's a mix called organic raised bed mix, and it's very nice and fluffy, which is it's nice in that type of, because it drains well and it has lots of aeration for the roots and all that stuff. But yeah, you got to get a good soil in there. Nothing that becomes too compact. That was the problem I had the first year with Greenstock Gardens, was that the soil that I chose was it got very dense, and it didn't drain well, and then it was almost like a brick when it came out of the Greenstock garden.
I'm using a combination of leaf mold and composted wood chips.
Nice. Yeah, that's very good. I have a very large compost pile in the back that I've been working on, and you guys haven't seen it yet, and I want to show you because it is amazing. I'm going to be pulling some of that compost out of there for the gardens this year, coming in the spring. And then I'm also going to be making the compost pile even larger. I got some diesel in the tractor yesterday, and I meant to do it yesterday, but then I just got busy
Right.
and didn't get it done.
Well, I've got one large compost pile that I've been adding to for 3 years. I now have the T posts and everything to make a second one right next to it. I'm gonna do what Doug does and turn it over into the next one and start again on that spot.
There you go.
So
There
I
you
should
go.
I'd have got probably 2 yards of grass clippings and stuff like that where the grass has been cut, and I've dumped it just outside the garden, and it goes almost the length of the garden, which is over 100 feet long, and it's
Wow.
probably about this deep right now. So
That's nice.
18 inches or so deep and 100 feet long.
That's-
It's all grass.
Yeah, if you
clippings.
could pile that up and let it cook,
Mhm.
that would be really nice.
That's what I want to do with the T-posts and wire fencing.
So Happy says, I mix it with cocoa coir for moisture retention here in the high mountain desert. Yeah, I've done that too. In fact, I have a compressed block of cocoa coir sitting out there ready to mix up for this year. I was also gifted, I don't buy peat moss. I just don't. I mean, I don't want to, necessarily say whether that's good or bad, but I choose not to buy it just because I don't want to support that. But I was gifted 2 bags of peat moss, so those will be used in the garden this year. Just somebody who had it, and actually my cousin who was moving, they had a small garden, and they ended up not using that product, and they moved, and I got the peat moss.
There's a question, what's peat moss?
Peat moss, and I may not completely understand what it is, but as I understand it, it's a like a boggy, swampy area where organic matter compacts, and actually I don't completely understand it, but anyway, they have to mine it out. They dig it out, and those
It is a moss that grows in very wet areas, usually sometimes, well, a lot of times in the Florida area down near the bogs they have there.
okay.
And a lot of people are saying to not buy peat moss anymore because the bogs are being destroyed by so many people mining the peat moss out of it.
Yep. And I don't know enough about that to say whether that's good or bad or true or whatever. I just know that my garden doesn't need it, so there's no reason to continue,
Right.
purchasing that. But so someone, We Tree Bonsai says peat moss is bad for your lungs. I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
I'll have to make sure I wear a mask when messing with that. Someone else asked, is there going to be a giveaway? Greenstock. Oh, Dolly said, will there be more Greenstock giveaways? I hope so, but I haven't talked with the Greenstock company yet to figure out whether we're going to do that. So we'll just see what comes. All right.
Coconut husk ground up.
Yeah, so
That's a
the
good
cocoa coir is a better option, also known as cocoa peat. I'm reading from Kilty Gardener.
I use sand, which is pretty easily available around here.
Yeah.
And I mix it with our clay soil.
Hmm.
And then I have also in the past, on occasion, ground up some small pieces of styrofoam to real small granules and put that in there to keep it loose and airy as well.
So, so a lot of times when I do my tree starts and things like that, I like to do a mix of the cocoa coir, the compost from the farm, and a little bit of sand. And that makes a really nice mix for just starting your plants or doing your, your cuttings or things like that.
I have a friend who lives about 30 miles from here, and she has 15 acres, and her whole property is sand.
Yeah.
And she said, come get all you want.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. The hill country area of Texas, you have, of course, the rocky hill country. And then as you go away from that, you get the clay soil with rocks in it like we have. And then as you go further away, it's very sandy. And I think it's just as over time, things wash out of the hill country down into the low areas.
I think that's part of it, and I think also that the sandy area that we have now used to be a sea bottom.
Oh, really? Okay. I didn't know that.
Lauren uses her coffee grounds. Lauren, I use my coffee grounds in my blackberry the pot that my blackberry tree
Yeah.
plant is growing in, and it loves them.
Yeah, coffee grounds and tea are a really nice addition to just adding to your compost. You can also put it on top of your soil as well, and just let it, you know,
Percolate down.
go down through. Continue to become coffee and tea for your soil. Worms love it. If you have a worm farm, you can add it to that. They like that as well. They like their coffee fix, just like we do.
And by the way, using used coffee grounds in your potting mix does not acidify the soil very much at all, because most of the acid in the coffee grounds goes away when you make coffee. It goes into the coffee.
Yep. I have not planted the trees that I was gifted from the Texas boys yet. They are still in pots. I'm hoping to get that done. I have to figure out exactly
Spring.
what I'm going to do as far as fig trees. I thought about maybe that first row in the orchard, just letting that become my fig row. Figaro?
Figaro. Figaro, Figaro.
And then trying to do what the Texas dad had suggested, and taking some irrigation off of the aerobic septic system, and letting that feed the Figaro. It's going to be my Figaro.
You know, I hadn't thought about that. I have an aerobic system that does that. I have two big sprayers that come up in
Yeah.
my backyard and spray.
Right.
And I thought, I didn't think about it, but that's a great place to put figs.
Yeah.
And I've got
Yeah.
lots of room to put it, because those things spray way out.
Yeah, you could just do it on the perimeter of where
Mhm.
it sprays. That way you're not spraying the trees directly,
Right.
but they'll get the benefit of all that moisture going out to that area.
Right.
I thought about that here when I planted. I have one peach tree, but my spray heads have been so inconsistent over the years. The water's been inconsistent, and my peach tree died.
Oh, that's too
So-
bad. I've got two peach trees. I planted them in 5-gallon buckets and set the 5-gallon buckets beside my front porch till I could decide where I wanted to plant the peach trees. And they grew through the bottom of the buckets, so now they're planted in the
Yeah, there you
front
go.
porch.
There you go.
And they lived through the cold. They're fine.
That's what happened to the. I have a hardy hibiscus from the Texas boys as well, and it was in the garden with. I had a little drip head on it, so it was getting plenty of water, and the roots grew through the bottom of the bucket. So yesterday, when I cleaned the garden up and I broke those roots, I fully expect to get a hibiscus tree
coming up, from
coming
those
up in the spring in that area, which is fine. I'll work around it. And then I planted the hibiscus in a different area of the garden. So
Well, you may have two hardy hibiscus.
I may have several hardy hibiscus. The one that's in a pot next to the guest house, Callie, our one free range goat, loves trimming that one down. So it hasn't grown up very much. We're going to take a little break from gardening because I want to talk about something else real quick. I was planning on doing this around the 30-minute mark, and we're at 33 minutes in. You guys probably saw the video that I did, the last video, which was with the thumbnail. It says, "This is important." And I was talking about these products that have changed my life. I did. I mean all of that from my heart. I'm not for a second trying to be shady or shifty with how that's presented or what that is in my life. You guys who follow my live shows are very aware that yes, it's a product that now I sell because it's so amazing. It has done so many good things in my life and in the lives of others around me that I knew I had to be a part of that company. And the disclaimer is, thank you, Eitri, she keeps me in line, that the products involved are not intended, I probably always say this wrong, not intended to treat, cure, or mitigate or prevent any disease or illness or whatever, but there are personal stories that are real. And my personal story is, you guys know, you've heard this, that 23 years of chronic pain is gone. I don't live with chronic pain anymore, and which allows me to live better. And I can do things like I went rock climbing. I told you guys I went rock climbing with my son, and we're planning on when he comes home for Christmas break from college, we're going to go rock climbing again. In fact, we're going to buy a little 1 month membership, and we're going to do it 6, 7, 8 times during that time when he's home. And prior to my life changing because my chronic pain went away, there you go. She's giving me the disclaimer. The statements made here have not been approved by the Food and Drug Administration. These statements are not intended to diagnose, treat, or cure or prevent any disease. Thank you. It's true. That's what the FDA says, but the stories that people have are real. And so prior to my story improving, I would not have gone rock climbing with my kids because it would have hurt. And I knew that I would have suffered. I still did things with my kids, but there were a lot of times when I would say, no, it's okay, boys, not now, or whatever. And they probably thought I was just lazy or something. I don't know. But
just grumpy.
Grumpy. That's what they thought I was. Yeah. And
just grumpy.
So that is, that's a major improvement in my life, that I actually want to do these things because I know I'm not going to hurt. A few quick, I'm not going to go on and on, I promise. Actually, I have to promise Mama Kirbs because she says don't go on and on. But
and she will talk to him about it if he does.
She will. She'll tell me. So my brother, who has chronic, a lot of things going on in his body because of being through, I think, 3 different tours of war, and his body got really beat up. And one of the most identifiable things, a very painful thing, is neuropathy in his feet and legs. And now he lives completely with none of that pain. It's not just a pain control, though. What it does, the product is an NRF2, sometimes called NRF2 activator. And NRF2 is a protein in your cells that when it's activated, when it's turned on, it communicates to your DNA to change some of the things going on in your body. And one of those major changes is that your body starts to produce more antioxidants that help you at a cellular level fight the oxidative stress that goes on, the damage, the cell damage that goes on in your body. So when you start turning off the damage, when you start fighting the damage, your body can start, we're getting a lot of sun glare.
Put me on, I'll do it.
There you go. So anyway, it's working, helping your body heal itself because of taking care of that damage. So anyway, go ahead.
Along with that, Dave and I are both taking this product as well, and we have noticed a very dramatic change in David. He many years ago, when he first moved to Florida, they have an insect down there called a black biting fly, and he got caught outside and didn't know about him and got bitten very badly on his legs by these flies. And it turns out that he's allergic to them. So it got infected and it had very angry scarring that looked almost like burn scars. And he's had that for like 15 years or maybe 20 years. And since he has started using this product, those scars are no longer red. They no longer look angry. There is still scarring there, but it is fading into normal skin color.
That's wonderful.
And he has noticed other changes in his skin too. And for a 72-year-old man to be able to say, my skin looks better, that's very unusual.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And that improves his life as well. I mean, he can look down and not be embarrassed. I don't even know if David gets embarrassed about his legs, but
he generally does not wear shorts or he wears the real long shorts so that it doesn't show.
Yeah, nice. So I am going to create this is my promise to you. I'm going to create a video that spells out what the product is, what it does, some testimonials. You're going to get all the information. And so I'm not trying to hide things from you at all. There are reasons, the company has reasons why they don't want people to just put it all out there. A lot of it has to do with how it's marketed. I know that. So they probably won't completely appreciate when I create this video that's going to tell it all. But anyway, that's coming soon. And yeah, so Roberta, I can't say for sure that diabetes will be cured or fixed, because that's, you just can't say that. But there are stories. In fact, if you go to pubmed.gov, and that is a place where not all medical research, but a lot of medical research, peer-reviewed studies gets published, pubmed.gov, and you type in diabetes NRF2 and see what articles come up, because there's a really good chance that you'll find that there is a definite connection to oxidative stress and diabetes and whatever other condition you have. And yeah, so do your research there at pubmed.gov. I'm going to stop talking about that right now, but I do want to say that contact me if you have more questions. Contact Kate too. She can help you out. My buddy Tim Turner also, and Doug Bowd. You can contact any of us, and we would love to help you. If we don't know the answers, we'll find somebody. And Kilted Gardner, man, my brain's losing. If we don't know the answers, we will help you find the answers. So Sean has a story there too. After 35 years of monthly migraines activating my NRF2, I haven't had one in 2.5 years. All I did was lower my oxidative stress. And
Sean, that is awesome news.
That is awesome news.
I had bad migraines as a kid, and that is wonderful news.
So lots of good stuff there. So I talked a little longer about that than I intended to, but it is something that I am very passionate about right now. And it is not about because I became a distributor. It's because of what it's really doing in my life. Full disclosure, if you buy anything from the link, was that link posted? If you go to the Life Vantage, is it Daddykirbs? What's the link? I forgot what the link was.
Yes, it's daddykirbs.lifevantage.com.
Yeah, so
and it's up above where we're chatting.
Okay,
now.
so in the chat is a Life Vantage link, daddykirbs.lifevantage.com. You can go and read all about it there. In fact, if you go to that link and you order from there, yes, I will make a little bit of money. But the reason I'm sharing this, it's the same thing with Greenstock or any of the other things. If you use my link, go into Greenstock, I will make a little bit of money.
Or on Amazon.
On Amazon, if you follow my Amazon link. Those things help me as a family man and as a content provider to sustain myself. But the reason I do those things is not the money. The reason I share Greenstock and the Amazon links and the well, Amazon links is kind of about the money.
What kind of what?
They are about the money. Sorry.
Yeah, Amazon is.
It just is, because
Amazon is.
Amazon links are, I do share 2 products that I have used and like, but sorry guys, the Amazon links are really about making a few dollars. But
very few, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's really very few. But sharing Greenstock is not about the money. I will make a little bit, but I love the product and I love sharing that with you guys. I love the company. It's a great product and I think it can help your life. So that's why I share that. And that's the same thing with the Life Vantage. The reason I want to share it is because it's going to change lives. Not everyone has the same reaction or the same effects. Like not everyone has big stories about massive things that it has done in their life, but the fact is it's proven that it does lower your oxidative stress, and it's also proven that when you lower your oxidative stress, good things happen. We don't know what those good things are. We can't talk about, that it's definitely going to be one thing or another. But all right. So, sorry, Mama Curbs, if you're watching this. I did go on further than I intended to, but it is something I'm very passionate about. So, gardening. I meant to put this out there earlier at the beginning of our conversation. Um, are you gardening in 2020? And yes, thank you, WeTree. Again, the statements made here have not been approved by the Food and Drug Administration. They are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. I like having that right there in front of me so I can read it.
It is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, because I need to memorize that. Are you gardening in 2020? And if you are you gardening in an existing bed or are you creating new beds? And I just kind of want to know. Hey, good morning. You're welcome to pull in next time. This is 6. No, hold on one second.
We have someone making a delivery, so he's got to run a sign for it. To answer the question he started to ask for me personally, yes, I will be gardening in 2020, and yes, it will be both in an existing bed and in pots. So I'll be doing both. I'm not sure what he's going to be doing. I know he's got several existing gardens, so he'll probably be doing that too. Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. Amazon Prime.
I was answering your question about I will be gardening both in pots and in the ground this coming year.
Yeah, that's great.
And putting trees in. I have more trees.
I would like to plant. I do have to plant the fig trees, so I'll be doing that. And I will also be doing the greenstock gardens. I have three. I have 3 greenstock gardens, 5 tiers that I intend to do a lot more in this year.
I have one.
We are loving the longevity spinach.
I have to get a cutting from you again.
Well, it's doing great. We'll cut some before you leave today. And so that's growing in the green stock. And then also I have a dream of doing a small aquaponic system using the green stock systems.
Do that again.
I want to do that. It's in my mind all the time. I just need to get it done.
Well, I've got my green stock. I've got 16 5-gallon buckets with various plants in them. I have 5 mango trees, 1, 2, 3, 4 avocado trees.
Wow.
6 pineapples, 2 citrus trees, and a couple of pecan trees that all need to go in the ground.
Yeah, you got to get those trees in the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I had for the last 3 years a pecan and an oak and a golden rain tree, and they all died.
Oh.
Because I didn't get them in the ground, and I did. Hey, Liz made it. Liz Zorab.
Yay! Hi, Liz. Speaking of oaks, I am right now processing acorns from my very own oak tree to make acorn flour.
Wow, that's
acorn
so
bread.
cool. You gonna make a video about that?
Oh yes.
Yes.
Oh yes.
So you guys have to follow along at Kate's Inside Kate's Kitchen to see how it is that you make acorn flour and bread using that flour.
And I'll be making several different kinds of bread from it.
Nice. Yeah, Happy says we'll have to do another show over at Kate's house. Yeah, so we can show all your stuff.
Or those that are interested are welcome to join from Sunday from 1 to 3 Central Time when I do a 2-hour live show.
There you go. Twice the fun.
And my husband Dave joins me on that.
Mary says, I do not garden. I hate it.
Who said that?
Mary. McCabe or McCabe. I'm sorry.
Mary McCabe.
There you go, McCabe. I do not garden. I hate it, but I want to try it. Wild animals are thick here. I tried 2 years ago and was ruined by wildlife. Yeah, the wildlife, rabbits, squirrels, skunks, raccoons, they can be a real challenge for the garden. Squirrels are probably the worst. I like squirrels. You
I
guys
don't
know
have
that.
enough trees to have squirrels.
Yeah, well, that's probably part of our problem is we have a lot of trees.
Hmm.
The squirrels like our place, and they really love it when we have fresh fruit and veggies for them.
Yeah. Karen, I don't know. Karen asked what acorn flour tastes like. I do not know. I have an abiding interest in foraging natural or wild foods. I'm doing acorns this year. Next year, if I can find a source, I'm probably going to do cattails.
Oh,
Um, I have done dandelion in the past. The only thing I've not done with dandelion in the past is make coffee from their roots, but I've used the leaves and the flowers and all that
I've
kind of
wanted
thing.
to try that too, but you guys know if you follow along that dandelions don't grow on my farm.
No, and I live less than 2 miles away, and my front yard is covered with them every spring.
This past week, I took dandelion seeds and threw them all over my yard, hoping that this year I get dandelions. But I've done that in the past and I never got any. And like you and others, there are there's lots of dandelions around here.
Hmm.
They just don't grow on my farm. I don't know why.
I'm hoping my elderberries live through the winter. I want
Oh
to get
yeah,
those in the ground so that I can have elderberries.
I want to do elderberries again, but I want to do them in a different place. I think up in the orchard where it was so hot, so full sun, it
Hmm.
just wasn't great for them. Because other people around here do well with elderberries, but everywhere I've seen them, they're a little more shaded
Right.
and definitely a lot of water. A
Hmm.
lot of water.
Karen, you asked how many cattails I need. Actually, one per cat is perfect, but it depends on what I'm going to do. I have used cattails in the past to weave baskets. I know that the flower, the part that looks like a tail, is edible. I know that the roots are edible, but I have not tried them, so I don't really know how much I need for anything. There's a couple of places close by where there's a wild spring running through the land, and I'm going to contact the owners and see if they'll allow me to go on their land and harvest some of those
That
cattails.
would be nice. That would be nice. I've heard of people using those. By the way, cattails are reeds basically that
Hmm.
grow along the edge of water, if you don't know that. And the yeah, several parts of that plant are edible.
The whole plant is supposedly edible or usable for food.
Nice. They grow everywhere in Minnesota.
Oh, they grow pretty. They grow often here in Texas. It's just you have to find where the natural waterways are and then get permission to go on there.
Yeah,
I don't have a natural waterway on my land at all. Closest I've got is the stock tank 3 properties over from us. So
yeah. Cattails equal corn dogs for city folks. Yeah, that's what they look like, corn dogs.
I guess they do, don't they?
And then you can make baskets. Lisa Johnson saying you can
Yes,
weave the cattail
that's what I've
leaves
done.
into baskets.
I've made baskets out of them.
When we were kids, I grew up in the Midwest. We would cut them off and beat each other with them. You know, we were boys,
With the
so
tail part,
well, just the whole
the
reed,
seed part.
whatever. Of course, we would like that because it kind of explodes when you hit somebody with it. But then you would just whack each other with the reeds.
You know that Native Americans would soak that part of the plant in like bear grease or some other form of grease and use it as a form of light.
Oh, I believe that. Yeah, it looks like a torch.
Hmm.
Yeah. Ah, good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, so the gardening adventures coming up in 2020. I really hope to do more gardening videos. Speaking of gardening videos, have you guys kept up with the gardening channel with James Prigioni on YouTube?
No, I haven't.
He is doing so well. Uh, he became like a real content creator a few years ago, but prior to him really taking control of that and becoming a real creator, I say real, but I mean like some people just put a few videos up and other people focus on it. That's what I mean. Before he started focusing on becoming sharing more gardening stuff, he had a few videos up, and one of them was about some permaculture experiments he did in his backyard. And that was one of the videos back in 2013 or so that I had seen on YouTube, and that and many other videos made me want to learn more about permaculture. So James and I have actually kept up with each other over the years, and so we're like online buddies, and I am just so proud of him for what he's doing with his channel. He's sharing lots of good information, and he has, I think, 250,000 subs now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he has
awesome.
completely blown up. And
I'm subscribed to him, but I don't get to go watch his videos real often.
yeah, it's fun watching him. He has a great personality. He shares a lot of good information, and yeah, I'm just really proud of him for what he's doing over there. And the other day we had a good long chat, and encouraging each other and just talking about what we're doing on our channels and in our gardens and different things. I would encourage you guys to go check him out. I think it's called The Gardening Channel with James Prigioni. I might have that a little bit wrong, but I think that's what it is.
Warning.
Oh, 5 minutes? Nice. Yeah, so the gardening, his method is more of a back to Eden style food forest permaculture type garden, which I think is wonderful. It's not for everybody. Some people do it differently. I haven't always done that myself, but I will say that in the areas that I let be more natural with the wood chip covering, the soil is much nicer. So I'm going to be adding a lot of wood chip compost to my garden coming up this next season, and hope to be a little. I'm not necessarily going to follow the garden. What's it called? Garden of Eden style. What's it called?
Garden of Eden.
Garden of Eden. Whatever.
No dig garden.
Yes, I'm not necessarily going to follow the Garden of Eden style, but I am going to be using a lot more mulch. Last year I didn't use a lot of mulch because I changed my garden layout, and I did okay, but I think I suffered some for that. And here in Texas, you need mulch because you need to keep that moisture. This is probably it's not just Texas, but especially in areas where it gets really hot, really sunny, and the soil can dry out really fast. And so I am going to be putting, like I told you, I have that really large compost pile in the back that's wood chips. I mean, it's broken down a lot. So I'm going to be separating it with a mesh, collecting the compost, and keeping the chips to put on top. So I'm also that's almost like a foreign language. I have a contact of a tree company that said they would bring out a very large truck load of mulch, and I just have to work the logistics of that. But I am going to be getting a lot more mulch on my place and doing more of that. So
3 years ago, I got 5 yards of wood chips delivered to my house for free.
Nice.
And it sat for 2 years, and then I started using it because they broke down, and now I have this beautiful, huge pile of mulch of
Compost. Yeah. So the outside layer still looks like mulch, probably. And
no,
then...
actually now, because when we had the work day the other day, they brought over one of those big tractor things with the scoop in the front.
Yeah.
They pushed it all up together, and a lot of grass had grown into it.
Right.
So now it's a big pile of dirt with grass on it.
Nice. Nice. Well, yeah, you get that out and sift it and get that nice compost and put it in your garden beds and in your buckets.
And I'm also have someone that's going to be bringing a pickup load full of composted horse manure.
Great.
They have a big horse farm, and they're going to bring me as much as I can use.
Nice. I don't need any delivery of that.
No, you have it delivered
I
daily.
have 2 manure factories producing daily that we can't hardly keep up with.
Right.
Oh my goodness. Big animals make big piles.
1 minute.
All right. You guys as a community and individually are amazing. Truly. Everyone has a story, and every story counts. I believe your story counts because you count. I love that I get to be a part of your story
Me
on
too.
Saturday mornings. I love that Kate gets to be a part of my story, and I get to be a part of Kate's story. Alyssa contacted me and said that I am a big part of her story on Saturday mornings, and I love that. And I love that you guys get to be a part of mine. So thank you very much for being a part of my story this morning and letting Kate and I be a part of yours.
Yes. You take care, guys.
We'll talk to you soon.
Bye.
Bye. And a reminder, sorry, before I cut it off, reminder to the mods to get to that meeting, get with Kate.
Yes.
Yeah. I saw that right
Back to
before I hit the X there, Wee Tree Bonsai. All right. Bye-bye.